We heard your comments. We're doing this for you. In 2001, Vin Diesel changed the world with 7 words. You owe me a 10-second car.
I owe you a 10-second car.
It wasn't born all that special, but it became a movie star. It was the car that you could customize down to the molecules and turn into a f***ing missile. And ever since it put Dom Toretto to shame in the first Fast and Furious, it's helped define car culture the world over. Here's everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Toyota Supra. Before it was anything, it was a pony car. In 1964, Ford came out with the Mustang and launched the pony car craze. Stylish, mid-priced sedans with big engines. After a while, Toyota wanted in.
I'm ready to go in, Coach. Just give me a chance.
And they rolled out their rear-wheel drive Celica in 1970. The car went through a few variations over the years, and in 1978, the Celica line produced the
Celica XX.
or Dos Equis in Spanish.
I don't always engineer high-performance sedans, but when I do, I prefer Dos Equis.
Toyota North America's division didn't like the name, so they renamed it the Celica Supra instead. The Supra was a more powerful version of the base car. In fact, its hood had to be made longer.
Why?
Because Toyota took the legendary engine from their famous 2000 GT sports car from the 60s called the M engine and gave it 2 extra cylinders just for the Supra. Now Toyota always stands for reliability and dependability, just like me. But unlike me, it doesn't stand for fun and excitement. So who do you think helped them engineer this new machine?
I don't know.
Lotus, a British car maker in the 1970s. And you know when you put the words British and 1970s in the same sentence, you always get quality, right?
I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think so.
So Toyota Supras got to be more awesome and Lotus Excels got less faulty parts. But they still broke down. I mean, their Lotuses, nobody can fix a Lotus. Between Toyota's engineering prowess, Lotus's high-speed expertise, and a new 6-cylinder engine, the end result was a car that was meh. Not amazing, not terrible, but you know, gold star for effort. In 1981, the original A40 Celica Supra was updated to a new model, the A50. And for whatever reason, nobody liked the term A50 in the US, so American journalists just started calling them Mark IIs, because America, we do what we want. Toyota never used this terminology, yet the style caught on, and now most people around the world refer to Supras by their mark.
Oh, hi, Mark.
Otherwise, the A50, the Mark II, just kind of went along. And just like the first car, it was meh. Then in 1986, it was at last time for the Supra to break free. As they updated the model again, Toyota split the Celica and the Supra into different lines. This was the A70, or as everyone calls it, the Mark III. Featured a souped-up version of the M engine, but you couldn't really tell because it gained a lot of weight, 500 pounds.
That guy in a little coat.
So with the extra weight, the Mark III at the beginning really wasn't that much better than the Mark II. Meh. In 1987, for my 2nd birthday, someone at Toyota slapped a turbocharger on the engine, creating the 7M GTE, a legend, the very last and very best of a remarkable engine line dating back to the 60s. An inline-6 producing 230 horsepower, the 7M Turbo was so good that someone else at Toyota decided to rebrand the car as a new variant, the Supra Turbo. And this was the moment that the Supra began living up to its name. The Supra Turbo's integrated rear spoiler made it look like something out of Star Wars, and its speed made it look like something out of Star Wars. Suddenly, the Supra was a car that you wanted. And then in 1992, the Mark III evolved into its final form. A brand new performance inline-6 for sports cars, the 1JZ. It blasted past the old engine and created the fastest and best version of this era of Supra. A tuned-up version of this was called the Twin Turbo R. And with its release, the Supra was no longer just all right. It was
All right.
This was it, the pinnacle, the peak. It couldn't get any better than this, could it?
Oh, you betcha, yeah.
Enter the A80, better known as the Mark IV. First released in 1993, the new Supra ditched the boxy looks of the 1970s and went with a sleek, sexy blend of aerodynamics and awesome. It looks like Joe Camel had a baby with a penis. It was even more powerful than the old car, and Toyota body shamed it into losing some weight, for a total loss of over 200 pounds. Lighter and more powerful, the already pretty great Supra was now f***ing awesome. And so it was official. The Mark IV Supra was the slowest car in the world.
That doesn't make any goddamn sense.
According to Car and Driver magazine, the Supra had the most powerful brakes and best stopping distance of any production car between 1997 and 2004. That's 7 f***ing years. I mean, something else happened in that time. Oh yeah, the 2JZ. Ever heard of it? It's like one of the best engines ever. Now the 2JZ is a more powerful version of the 1JZ, and it was indestructible. That meant that any mechanic who knew what he was doing could swap out a few parts, crank up the boost. It wasn't long before people were starting to talk crazy horsepower numbers, like 800 horsepower. Just for reference, Ayrton Senna's Formula One car that year made 710 horsepower. Out of all the engines ever made, few are easier to modify and tune than a 2JZ. With the incredible engine, better turbos, Toyota's first 6-speed gearbox, it went like a bat out of hell, turned on a dime, rode pretty comfortably, had 4 seats, looked good, and those awesome brakes that I mentioned before. Oh, and it was reliable because Toyota. The latest Supra was well and truly the greatest. You could give Porsches and Aston Martins of the day a run for their money for half the cost. Did I mention 2JZ? Are you guys even listening to me? It got so famous that it became a movie star, literally. Alongside supporting cast Vin Diesel and Paul Walker, it got the lead role in the original Fast and Furious. More than any other single factor, the Supra's starring role turned an entire generation onto the Japanese sports car scene and car culture in general. I mean, without this car, I wouldn't have a job. Thanks for proving my dad wrong, Supra. The Mark IV Supra was a legend, an icon, just like me. Even the Supra, as spectacular as it was, couldn't convince people to fork over their money. Toyota pulled the Supra off the floor in America in 1998 and ceased sales around the world in 2002. The Supra was just too good for this world.
Goodbye, my love.
But over the years, a chosen few have kept the dream alive. Tuners continue to find, mod, and sell Supras, which have quietly turned the 20-year-old car into one of the most in-demand vehicles on the secondhand market. A mint-condition Mark IV can sell for 6 figures today, even though it only cost around $40,000 back when it was new. So if you have an old one lying around, you could be rich and not even know it. But why would you sell it? It's not like they're making any more. Or are they? It is the worst kept secret in the industry right now. Toyota and BMW have formed an alliance to build a new sports car platform that they can both use. And Toyota, rumor has it, wants a Supra. Some say it could even be a performance hybrid, like a miniature 918. If so, then the Supra will once again be breaking barriers, bringing hypercar performance and ideas to the masses. Whatever Toyota does or doesn't do next, the Supra of old stands tall as one of the all-time greats of the industry. But a mid-range Toyota that was available for the masses, based off an old sedan with an engine that was too heavy, it's one of the best cars ever made. That's everything you need to know to get up to speed on the Toyota Supra. Please subscribe and comment below. What cars do you want to see us cover next? What did I miss in this video? What is your favorite Mark IV Supra ever? Mine is probably the Veilside Kit one. Do I look sweaty?